Our first scripture reading today comes to us from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 8, verses 27 through 33. Jesus went on with his disciples to the villages of Caesarea Philippi, and on the way he asked his disciples, "Who do people say that I am?" And they answered him, "John the Baptist, and others say Elijah, and still others, one of the prophets." And Jesus asked them, "But who do you say that I am?" And Peter answered him, "You are the Messiah." And Jesus sternly ordered them not to tell anyone about him. And then he began to teach them that the Son of Man must undergo great suffering and be rejected by the elders, the chief priests, and the scribes, and to be killed and after 3 days rise again. He said all of this quite openly. And Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him. But turning and looking at his disciples, Jesus rebuked Peter and said, "Get behind me, adversary, for you are setting your mind not on divine things, but on human things."
Our second reading this morning comes from James, chapter 3, verses 1 through 12. Not many of you should become teachers, siblings, for you know that we who teach will be judged with greater strictness. For all of us make many mistakes. Anyone who makes no mistakes in speaking is perfect, able to keep the whole body in check with a bridle. If we put bits into the mouths of horses and make them obey us, we guide their whole bodies. Or look at ships. Though they are so large that it takes strong winds to drive them, yet they are guided by a very small rudder wherever the will of the pilot directs. So also the tongue is a small member, yet it boasts of great exploits. How great a forest is set ablaze by a small fire, and the tongue is a fire. The tongue is placed among our members as a world of iniquity. It stains the whole body, sets on fire the cycle of nature, and is itself set on fire by hell. For every species of beast and bird, of reptile and sea creature can be tamed and has been tamed by the human species, but no one can tame the tongue, a restless evil full of a deadly poison. With it we bless the Lord and our God, and with it we curse those who are made in the likeness of God. From the same mouth come blessing and curse. My brothers and sisters, this ought not to be so. Does a spring pour forth from the same opening both fresh and brackish water? Can a fig tree yield olives, or a grapevine figs? No more can salt water yield fresh. Friends, this is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Words create worlds of all kinds. A poem. In the beginning, out of the emptiness.
Into the void, amid the chaos.
From seemingly nothing, a voice rang out, as loud as thunder.
As soft as a single breath. Yet somehow more powerful than both.
Words. Born into existence through words.
Worlds teeming with possibility and hopelessness.
Life and death.
Promise and disappointment.
Creativity and futility.
Blessing and curse.
Genesis and extinction. Worlds of all kinds.
Birthed through the creative strength of words. How great a forest set ablaze by a small fire.
As the embers smolder, the spirit is left wondering, who do you say that I am? Who do I? Full
Full of emptiness, there she stood, alone, in the void, amidst the chaos, as though she was nothing. Or at least not what, not who others wanted or judged her to be.
The voices rang out a cacophony of derision, in silent sneers and deafening jeers. She could feel their searing heat, even in cold chill of her loneliness.
Words, thought, spoken, heard, internalized,
Unworthy,
less than,
impossible,
unwanted,
temptress,
curse. Her world fashioned around the form of these words.
How great a forest set ablaze by a small fire.
As the embers smolder, her spirit is left wondering, who do you say that I am? Who do I?
Into the stillness, in the midst of the clutter and the clatter underneath all of the noise, other voices can be heard.
But you must wait, dear one. You must listen deeply.
Feel the steady beat,
Metronomic river,
coursing from the beginning of the universe
the dawn of all time,
into and through your being. Words, thought, spoken, heard, internalized.
Can you hear them? Beloved,
Worthy,
beautiful,
accepted,
gifted,
gift. These words possess the power to shape the world we share.
to form her,
Them,
him,
you,
me,
us.
How great a forest set ablaze by a small fire.
As the embers smolder, our spirits are left wondering, who do you say that I am? Who do I?
Does a spring pour forth both fresh and brackish water?
Can a fig tree yield olives, or a grapevine figs?
Can from the same mouth, out of the same mind, come blessing and curse?
It cannot. No, it should not be so.
Yet, the words we speak to others,
About others,
to ourselves,
about ourselves, create worlds of all kinds.
worlds of despair or hope,
Of indifference or wonder.
of bondage or liberation,
Of corruption or justice.
of retribution or mercy,
Of fear or love.
let us guard our tongue,
And the words we allow to clutter our minds,
our hearts,
our mouths,
for
for words create worlds. What world will we create together today?
Who do you say that I am?
Who do I?